So welcome everyone. Welcome to Wine and Real Estate. Looks like Jason's enjoying some coffee, and Sarbloh, are you having water or something? Or
Aqua Fria.
Agua fria, muy bien. So welcome guys. I'm really excited to have you on my podcast. It's been months. I've been chatting with Sarbloh and Jason I met recently. I've been following what you guys do, and I think it's something a lot of investors are missing out on is the infinite banking. I was floored when I heard about it. I thought for sure this is illegal. Just like joint ventures and private lending and all the things we learned as real estate investors. So as you become more sophisticated, you learn about things that the banks don't really want you to know. So just like private lending. So what you guys do is kind of next level, and you're the experts. So if you could introduce yourselves, let's start with Jason. Who are you, and what's infinite banking and your company and all that?
Well, firstly, thank you for having us as guests on your show. It's great to be with you. It's great to be with your listeners and your viewers. And we always love conversations like these that open people's eyes up to the process of becoming your own banker, the infinite banking concept. As the CEO of Ascendant, my role is to attract great people to our team and to cast a vision for our group and, to take care of my teammates. And I've been practicing this process personally for the past 14 years.
Wow.
And it has been completely transformational. The whole essence of becoming your own banker, the infinite banking concept, is to be able to recapture the interest, to recapture that money that is presently flowing away from your family, flowing away from your business. If you are an active real estate investor, you're very familiar with the need for capital.
Oh, yes.
And the real estate investors that we talk to have not had the best experience each time they need to gain access to capital to take advantage of opportunity that tracks them down to grow their real estate portfolio. And this process of becoming your own banker radically improves anything that you're doing financially, including your real estate investment activity. With that, I'll turn it over to my teammate, Sarbloh.
Yes, so Sarbloh, yes, I'd love to find out more. Has it been 14 years as well for you?
Well, it's getting there, Francois. And again, thank you so much for having us both over. And so I was introduced to the process of becoming a banker in 2015. And
Okay.
it's an interesting story how I discovered this process. I was basically looking for an opportunity to find an employment.
Okay.
And one thing led to the other. So my background is engineering. That's what I went to school for. And then I was really frustrated with what I was doing. It wasn't satisfying me. And I put a resume together and I uploaded the resume on Indeed. And I said, hey, here's my qualification. Here's what I've done in life so far. Find me something different from what I have achieved in life.
Wow.
And someone from Indeed, a company in Edmonton, a placement agency, they picked up my resume and they called me. I was like, I'm grateful for the call. I wasn't expecting anyone to call me because my resume just didn't make any sense. But they're like, oh, seems like you're up to something. And, it'll be benefit from you to meet a gentleman by the name Jayson Lowe, because when you're looking for an opportunity where you can grow yourself in a new environment, in new area of expertise which you're not familiar with, you need a good coach.
Yeah, so it's like a total career shift from engineering to infinite banking. But you are engineering banking, so that's really cool. Wow. Yes. I'll let you keep going.
so I got introduced to Jayson in 2015, and the first thing that he does is, we had a great conversation. We connected right away. He's like, Sarbloh, have you heard about this concept, or have you read this book? So that was my introduction. And, I read the book. I attended Jayson's full-day seminar because one thing that is really near and dear to us at Ascendant Financial is education. We empower Canadians, whether you're business owners, entrepreneurs, investors. Education comes first. We strongly believe in that. So no different than that, Jayson educated me, and I was all in. And I said, hey, this is really good. And I just don't want to implement this process in my life, but I want to have an ability to learn from the best, Jayson, to continue teaching Canadians on this concept, because it certainly changed my life over the last 5 years and the lives of several thousand clients that we serve at Ascendant Financial.
Wow. And you guys are busy. I mean, it's wow. I see all the activity and things. It's excellent. And I will share some experience I've had with Sarbloh. So you're really not pushy. So if anybody's listening to this and they're scared because they hear what you do and it might seem scary, oh, they're going to call me and harass me. Like if you go see a car, you get a million phone calls after. So it's really not the same. You're very friendly and it's education first. And hopefully it's for you. But if it's not, no problem. That's it. And I really love that. I really appreciate that. It's very rare in 2021. Usually you get like harassing phone calls and get with it right now. And it's quite hard because it's a harder concept to grasp. It's not something you can understand in 30 seconds.
Right.
And it's a big decision. It's a big investment, but it can really transform your life. And so I'd love to find out more. So you showed the book. I think it's The Banker's Vault. I can't really read that small. Yeah, Becoming Your Own Banker. There it is. And by R. Nelson Nash. So it is American. So when I first heard about it, I'm like, oh, this is only for the States. But you guys are in Canada. So this is doable in Canada. No. Are there some adaptations or differences or?
No, the process of banking in and of itself, it doesn't recognize any borders. Everybody banks. The tool that we utilize to implement the process, so dividend paying, participating whole life insurance contracts, we obviously only design policies based on Canadian tax laws, Canadian guidelines. And when I was first introduced to this process back in 2008, in July of 2008, I was not even in the profession at that time. I had really, my interest was piqued in terms of what I heard. I attended a conference in the United States. It was a 3-day conference on this subject.
Wow.
And when I came back to Canada, I began to immediately meet with any life insurance carrier that would take a meeting and walk through all of the questions that I had to trust but verify that what I had learned was applicable right here in Canada. And sure enough, it was. And so I immediately began to implement it personally and then began to introduce it to others. And that's what gave birth to this incredible business that we have. And we serve, as Sarbloh mentioned, we serve Canadians coast to coast, and we practice what we teach. I think that's what really truly comes across to the people that we interact with, is that we can speak from a place of integrity and a place of authenticity to say, look, anything that we're talking to you about, that we're sharing, we actually practice in our own lives in a very big way. And so ask us anything that you'd like. We're very transparent about how we go about doing things with this process in our own lives. And people really appreciate that. And we get to be the buyer in the transaction.
Yes.
That's what sets us apart, I think, and makes us different, is that when you think of a transaction, if you're going to buy a piece of real estate, you have a buyer and you have a seller.
Yes.
Well, the one party that gets to do the rejecting in the transaction is the buyer.
Yeah.
So when we're meeting with prospective clients, we always remind ourselves that we're the buyer. We get to make the buying decision because there has to be a really good fit. We haven't met anyone that this process cannot help. So if you need the use of money, if you're familiar with the process of banking, this is a concept that you absolutely need to investigate. But we don't work with everyone that we meet. There has to be a really, really good fit there. And much like you said, if there isn't, as long as you leave happy, that's okay too.
Yeah. And you mentioned something interesting earlier, Jayson. So the frustration with real estate investors and accessing money. So mortgages, that's the hardest money to get. So I'll share an example. This morning, I was at the bank. You can get 1 million credit cards, but who wants that many credit cards really, like at 26% or whatever percentage it is? But mortgages, you have to fight like crazy. I can get as many credit cards as I can get, well, much more actually than mortgages. So it's really an annoying process, but I guess the banks mitigate the risk with the crazy high interest rates. So to them, it's like, yeah, the money's there, but you can't really access it. So infinite banking, can you walk us through very quickly on what it is for those that have no idea? There's life insurance. I understand that now. And what does it involve?
Oh, goodness. I'd love to do that. I'll share with you just a personal example that maybe, several of your listeners and viewers can also relate to. So back in 2008, you could still get 40-year amortizations
Yes.
mortgages. And
no money down as well.
Exactly. Yeah. And the rates were incredible. The interest rates were really good. And so at that time in April, so you'll recall, I was introduced to this process in July, but in April of that year, my wife, Rebecca, and I, so we moved into our principal residence. We had just moved back to Canada. I was on an international work assignment for a few years in the United States. And when we relocated back to Canada, we were thrilled with, okay, this is great.
Yeah.
The Americans talk about 30-year amortizations and we're getting a 40-year. This is awesome. And we were focused on what most consumers and investors are focused on, which is the payment and the rate.
Yeah.
But what I didn't know, and it was right there in front of me, is that I thought, okay, I'm going to send an extra couple $100 a month because I want to accelerate
Pay it down. Yeah.
the repayment schedule. But what I didn't know, and what was right in front of me, is that what I was really saying to my bank is, hey, listen, you don't have to worry about going to find another borrower. I'm going to send you more money than what you were expecting, and I'm going to increase your margin of safety in the process.
Oh my goodness.
So when I discovered this concept in July of that year and began to implement it personally, what it involved was capitalizing a system of dividend-paying participating whole life insurance contracts. Now, capitalizing means that you're paying premium. So I created these insurance contracts where I was the life insured, my wife Rebecca was the life insured. Once our kids started coming along, their lives were insured. And these contracts began accumulating cash value immediately from day one. And what I began doing is once a year, I was requesting from the life insurance company a policy loan. So with this contract, here's the contrast. I pick up the phone, I contact the insurance company, I request a loan, I can collaterally assign a minimum of 90% of the total value of my contract. And when I get the money, it's an unstructured loan. So the insurance company itself is guaranteeing the collateral for the loan, so they don't expect a repayment schedule.
Wow.
So I was able to get rid of a 40-year amortization schedule in 7 years.
That's amazing.
Now, getting it done 33 years ahead of schedule isn't too shabby.
Nope.
I contacted my mentor, the developer of this process, the late R. Nelson Nash, who I was blessed beyond the definition of good fortune to be mentored by for so many years. And I phoned him and I said, Nelson, I got rid of the bank.
Wow.
And he said, well, don't celebrate too quick.
Yeah, it's only the beginning.
You signed up for a 40-year amortization schedule. So you're going to finish that loan schedule. You're just going to change the process of who's getting the money.
Yeah.
So now that money's flowing back to the family versus flowing away. We're in a position of total and absolute control. And it creates a very peaceful, stress-free way of life. And now that my aquarium of capital, this cash value, continues rising every single day, uninterrupted by what's going on in the economy, uninterrupted by any pandemic, uninterrupted by any real estate cycle, my cash value continues rising every day, uninterrupted. All these opportunities track me down for private lending, for financing, for acquisition of property, for all the above. And I don't need to rely upon a commercial bank and all of their rules and guidelines and, and lengthy, nosy credit applications, personal guarantees, and so on. Mm-hmm. I don't have to rely upon that anymore. But what's most important for your listeners and viewers to recognize is that this is not an overnight undertaking.
Yeah, it's not a get rich quick.
No, it happens gradually and incrementally over a period of years. And what do real estate investors who have that long-term buy and hold, they purchased the real estate for a deferred benefit. That's why they bought it in the first place. And so by taking control of the financing function as it relates to that activity in your life, you can't take it all over tomorrow morning, but you can do it gradually and incrementally over a period of time. And the more you get it done, the more you want to get it done, because it just gets easier and more efficient. What are your thoughts, Sarbloh?
Well, Jason, every time you share that, your real example of recapturing those payments and paying off your house, I just get so excited about how much more money I can recapture for my own family, and listeners do that so much. And Francois, so just like how Jayson shared his own example of recapturing his payments, there's so many clients that have achieved the same success, but it's not a quick rich get scheme. It's a process, and it needs coaching. And this is where we distinguish ourselves from everybody else in the marketplace, because we are not working for the purpose of a sale. Like you mentioned, there's no sale from our team. There's no sale from our office.
No, it's really different. Like, it's not a one time you said it and you forget it. You need to keep meeting and adjusting and adding, or you don't remove, but you keep adding.
Our relationship starts once the policy starts, truly. And that's why, as Jayson mentioned, we are very selective whom we want to work with, because we are committing to lifelong relationship.
That's true.
And we are not a fee-for-service organization when it comes to the implementation of the process of becoming a banker. So, but we really get excited about the implementation part, right? So I had an opportunity to help one of my friends with an investment opportunity. So he didn't have all the capital that he needed. And no different than how Jayson explained, when you have access to capital, an opportunity comes up. So he called me right away. He's like, Sarbloh, I have an opportunity. We can do this deal together. It's going to give us 1% per month for at least 6 months. That is how the deal is going to be structured, which is annualized 12%. And we need to put 100K per year. And Sarbloh, I got 50K. I need another 50K. Are you in? And I said, absolutely. I got access to capital in my own policies. I'm 100% in.
Wow.
Now, what I did was I called the insurance company, different than how Jayson explained, an insurance company like, Sarbloh, yeah, you can access money as a loan. Do you want us to deposit this money into your account electronically, or do you want a check? Which one do you want?
It.
Like, how is that for qualification for a loan as compared to what you already are doing?
Well, and what Sarbloh had in that deal, he also had 100% of his own cash value still rising every day, uninterrupted by the loan.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. That's the money grows even though it's gone. It's like you chop down the tree and the leaves keep growing.
Well, you're borrowing against it. If you the tree, that tree is still growing. Mother Nature's nurturing it. It's still leaf.
You're harvesting the fruit, not the tree, in a way.
No. Your tree gets left alone to grow. What the insurance company does is says, hey, come over to this yard. And
we have other trees.
We've got other trees over here. You can borrow against the growth of your own tree. And that we cannot overemphasize the impact of being in a position of total and absolute control and having uninterrupted daily compounding growth of that capital while you're pursuing your real estate investment ambitions, your business growth ambitions, your personal financial ambitions, whatever it is that your listeners or viewers are already doing financially, the process of becoming your own banker will radically improve that.
Yeah.
It's not meant to be an either or. It's not, hey, I'm going to become my own banker, or I'm going to expand my real estate portfolio.
You can do both.
It's an as well as.
Yeah.
It's an as well as. And we described that, one of my colleagues, Caleb Williams, and I, we co-authored the book titled The And Asset for Canadians. Picture a day when financial control is in your hands, not the banks, not the government, not some temperamental stock market. And this book, we're going to provide an electronic copy of this book to your viewers and listeners with our compliments, just as a way of saying thank you and to express our gratitude for having us on the show. And we'll provide you a link that you can share with your viewers and listeners where they can just download a copy. And we hope they enjoy reading it as much as we enjoyed writing it.
Yes, no, this is crazy. The and asset. So you see, like everything in life normally is and or. Like you eat the cake, you get fat. You don't eat the cake, you get a six-pack. So it's just like real estate. You get the mortgage. Oh no, now your credit is hurt. It appears on your credit, while these loans do not appear on your credit.
That's correct.
You keep borrowing the traditional way, and bang your head against a wall and deal with lawyers in a million conditions, if you find that entertaining, and also have infinite banking as well. So maybe you can give us an idea of scale, if that is possible. People might think, okay, this should be very, very expensive. How much money do you need to get started? Just like the stock market, like you need 10,000 to start. What would make sense for infinite banking? Do you start with 5,000, 100,000? What?
Oh goodness, that's a great question. We have clients that deposit as little as $100 a month.
Okay, so very affordable to most people, really.
Yeah. Well, and that would be in a circumstance where they're creating a policy on a child or a grandchild,
okay,
juvenile. And we have clients that deposit multi-six figures per month. And
yeah,
so
I can imagine.
if you're somewhere in between those two numbers, you can
definitely. I'm above 100, but below six figures for sure.
We always we like to kid around to say, if you want to know what our very best top depositing client is, we'll share that with you if you want to beat that.
Wow. That would be great. So 7 figures, why not?
You know, the whole thing is that it's not about where should I begin in the way of how much should I be putting into a policy. That's step 8. Step 1 is recognizing the problem. And so unless a person recognizes that there's a problem, then the solution at step 8 just won't matter to them anyway.
Yeah.
And the problem is that, for your viewers and listeners, is that they are not controlling the banking function as it relates to their needs. Some organization must perform that function as it relates to your needs. There are no exceptions.
Yeah.
And so that someone should be you.
Yeah, why not?
Once you know how, then the solution matters. And then we get to step 8, where we say, okay, let's decide what a good starting point is. It's got to be comfortable. It's got to be affordable. The person who is considering taking out a policy is the person who decides how much capital goes in. And we're there as a coach, as a mentor, to provide the tools to get the job done, to provide the coaching and mentoring. But as a coach, we're responsible to you, not for you. Yeah. We want you to become your own banker. We don't want you to become the banker in your life as long as you have someone standing next to you to help you do it every step of the way. Like, that's not what we're trying to build. We want to build independent clients, not dependent clients. That's what got them to where they are to begin with, is that they were depending on someone else to perform that function in their lives. And most people in Canada have little to no idea as to the importance of the process of banking as it relates to their needs. And they abdicate the opportunity and, more importantly, the responsibility of that function in their own lives. And this concept will open up their eyes to a whole new financial world. I promise you. It did for me. And I thought I was pretty financially savvy. I owned 13 properties. I was a very active real estate investor. I was doing well financially. I thought, hey, this is
good.
and then the financial crisis hit.
2008, just not long after. You mentioned July, but wasn't it September, I think, or October, and then crash?
I don't know if any of your viewers or listeners have been hit in the face with a snow shovel before, but it doesn't feel very good. And so I recognized at that time, especially after discovering this process, that something fundamentally was wrong with the financial system. I just couldn't put my finger on it. And when I began to implement this, everything began to change, and it changed for the better. And so you can't put a price tag on achieving a peaceful, stress-free way of life. It's really immeasurable. There's no calculator that you can type numbers into to say, here's the net effect of that. It's a health effect. It's a mental health effect. It's a relationship effect. It just positively impacts every area of your life. And so this concept can, again, radically improve what your listeners and viewers are already doing financially. They've got to read the book titled Becoming Your Own Banker. the book that was authored by the developer, the pioneer of the process. We'll provide your listeners and viewers with a link if they want to get a copy of that book. We'll courier it right to their front door. They'll also get a copy of the And Asset for Canadians at no cost. That's just our token of gratitude. And so continue your journey of learning. Be open-minded to learning something new, because the bankers never forget the value of the process and who controls it.
No.
You've got to take that control back in your life.
No, it's so true. Yeah, this is amazing. Just like, so we're kind of in essence eliminating all that friction. Just like I used to be in retail for years.
Me too.
And you pay fees like Visa, MasterCard, whatever. There's like tap fees, and all of this adds up, and it's billions of dollars. People don't realize it, but it's all added in our clothes, everything we consume. So just like you're saying, you're kind of recapturing that, and also recapturing the stress of, will I be approved for this mortgage, or what's going to happen with this loan? And with this, you have the freedom of location where you want to invest the money. So this is a huge feature I love. As I'm investing more and more internationally, I don't need to justify my investments and where I'm putting the money, because I'm the bank, so who cares?
Right.
As long as it's a smart move, for sure. But
well, you may have heard the expression, whomever has the gold makes all the rules.
Totally. So this is it. So if you have the gold, and the gold, so you have the rules. So and you decide. So
yeah.
You know, there's a reason why we at Ascendant Financial, we have 500 plus 5-star Google reviews on Google.
Wow.
Because of the value that we bring to our clients. You know, our clients are using this process for building wealth. Our clients are using this process for creating a legacy, creating an estate plan. Our clients are using this process for recapturing debt. Our clients are using this process for financing vacations, kids' education, wedding, cars, businesses. Anything that you have the need for use of money can be accomplished with the implementation of the process of becoming a banker. It's limited to your imagination. That is why it's called infinite.
Yes.
It's impossible to define boundaries around infinite. And where, if you think of the real estate community, the real estate investor community, where they typically begin with this process, is they begin with all of the ancillary items associated with their real estate portfolio, property taxes, repairs and maintenance, vacancy fund, you name it, unforeseen, calls for cash that are needed, and
a roof.
and
or a boiler if you have a large multifamily.
Closing cost.
That could be closing costs. That's true.
And
land transfer tax in Ontario, that can be a lot of money.
Yeah.
You guys don't have it in Alberta. You're lucky, but we get it. And in Toronto, it's double land transfer tax, which is nuts. So that's a lot of money you're just giving away. So
and so why not use your accumulating value as collateral to access an unstructured loan so that you control the repayment schedule without interrupting one penny of your daily cash value accumulation. So the analogy we use often is an aquarium. Think about an aquarium that starts filling up, and it just keeps filling up every single day, no matter what. You get to borrow against that rising value on your terms. So if you've got ready access capital on demand on your terms, does that take away any of your options?
I'd be on fire. So my Costa Rica homes right now would be paid off, and I could just go there and enjoy life.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. One of our teammates who looks after all of our YouTubes and Instagrammies and things like that, he's in Costa Rica right now.
Perfect. Yeah, because you can work anywhere, so why not? And
isn't that cool?
That's amazing.
Oh, what's all the rage with Costa Rica? Like, I keep hearing, especially in the real estate investment community, is it the weather? Is it the market?
Yeah, there's a few things going on. So in Canada, well, you guys have seen it. Not so much in Alberta, actually. I was at an event last December 7th on therightclub.com. We had an event about investing in Western Canada. So, and more specifically Alberta. So most of Canada has seen massive inflation in the housing market. Alberta, not so much. which is a good thing in a way for residents. But here, like I'm in Ottawa, houses have almost tripled in price in the past few years, which makes things unaffordable. Cash flow is disappearing. In the States, many American states as well are seeing massive inflation. So cash flow, again, is going down. Costa Rica is going up, but it's a vacation place. So people are willing to pay more for furnished rentals, all of that. And that's where the opportunity lies. But the big problem is there is no financing. For foreigners, it's very hard to get financing, but you guys offer an amazing solution here. So for Costa Rica, Portugal, wherever, Japan, or whatever you want to do. So I love this. And you gave us an idea of scale. So $100 a month or $1 million if you have it, why not?
Yeah.
So can you give us kind of a concrete example? Do I flow through my rent money? Like I was just at the bank, rent roll. I saw what it is. It's a substantial amount of money. So if this could, recycle in my cash flow in my policy, this could be amazing and really increase my buying power, I guess you would say. Or how do you structure it for an investor? So I don't have a job. I'm a full-time investor. That's all I do. So everything comes in from rent roll and other sources of income I have, but it's not employment income.
Right.
What would you do for me if you use me as a case study?
Well, I think, one of the first things that we would do is just get clarity on, money in, money out. So getting a good understanding.
Lots out, a little bit in.
Yeah. Well, I haven't met a real estate investor yet who doesn't owe a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. Way more than I'm worth.
And so, we take a look at how you're put together financially, and then we figure out, okay, is there more capital coming in than flowing out?
Yeah.
Without that, we need to correct that first. So
for sure,
actually, it's kind of upside down. Well, then we can't commence. We need capital to commence with the process. It has to come from somewhere. And then determining what specific objective do you want this process to help you achieve. For most real estate investors, it's, I recognize that my tenants are the ones that are paying all the expenses associated with carrying costs of the property. I recognize that eventually these properties are going to be unencumbered. The mortgages will be gone. I just want to speed that up.
Sure. Yeah. To 7 years. That sounds amazing.
I want to have that happen faster. And so we take a look at what your capacity is to fund a policy or a system of policies that must meet the comfort and affordability criteria. We don't want to hug the line.
You don't want to be like
no, because then that's not creating a peaceful, stress-free way of life. It's adding stress. So we start where it's comfortable and affordable. We begin the accumulation of ready access capital, and then we look at what existing fixed variable expenses from the real estate portfolio can we flow through the system with relative ease and simplicity to get you into a rhythm of doing it. Because the infinite banking concept is meant to be a lifestyle. It's not a financial plan. It's meant to be a lifestyle. Right? Because your money has to reside somewhere. Yeah. What better place to have it reside than here? But it can't be achieved in one evening. It's got to be done incrementally. So what we would do with you is work with you, coach you, and mentor you in embracing the process. And then it would expand just by proxy of you. The more you do it, the more it expands. And your coach, in this case, Sarbloh, who is bar none, one of the very best in North America, let alone Canada. And he would assist you with that process. Anything to add there, Sarbloh? I hope I didn't forget anything.
Well, no, listen, that's very accurate. It's important to assess where you stand in your life journey and where you need to go so that we can see how everything can be structured. One of the things that resonated for me from Nelson's book, and again, one reading to this book just doesn't do it justice.
No, you have to read it a few times,
right? And he says the money is already flowing. All the money that you earn, whether it's passive, whether it's active, whatever it may be, it's income, is already flowing to the books of someone else's bank. And if you understand the power of being the bank, then how much of that money do you want to prioritize flowing it through your bank? It all begins with you, because you need to change the outcome for you and your family. We can guide you. We can show you the way, but it has to come from you, right? When I got started, my policy wasn't any big. My first policy was $5,000 per year. That's where I got started. But over a period of time, as Jayson said, it's not a matter of doing it overnight, and it's not a matter of one policy. It's a matter of creating system of policies. As you start to recapture more money, as you receive windfalls money,
becomes
that money
easier.
has to flow. So we keep creating more systems. More system means more opportunities to use it, and then more opportunities to use it means more opportunity to create more systems. Once your money is in your system, it'll never leave you as you're implementing the process. But if your money is flowing to the books of someone else's bank, it's always leaving you.
That's right.
So the question is, how much of the flow do you want to keep for the rest of your life working for you all the time?
All of it.
There you go.
And for the kids too. So I love that part that your kids can get involved in a way, like they can start very early from birth. Basically, mine are old now, so
well, and you get to teach them. You get to teach them what we weren't taught. You know, nobody taught me growing up about how to multiply money and keep it in the family. What the discussions around money looked like for me growing up was, one day, Jayson, you're going to move out. You're going to start your own family. You're going to have your own bills. You're going to have your own expenses. You're going to understand what it's like to have to make
expensive.
and using language like, you know, money is the root of
all evil.
Penny saved is a penny
earned.
A penny saved is just a damn penny.
Yeah, a penny saved is worth more than a penny earned, actually.
Like, that's all.
Because in a way, you don't pay the income tax. So that one I do tell my kids that one.
And so
with income tax, probably 50 cents and then a penny. So
anyway. Yeah. Well, for us in our family now, so we have 4 children. My oldest is 13. And my oldest daughter is 12, and my twin daughters are turning 10. And they will tell you all about the importance of keeping the money in the family. They will tell you the importance of when
at 10, 12, and 13.
Yeah, you need to. We had my nephew Evan was on a recent boot camp that we hosted for the general public. We had a few hundred people in attendance at the event, and my nephew Evan, who is 13. Was sharing, he was presenting to the group and talking to the group about the importance of keeping the money in the family, the importance of repaying your policy loans, all of those fundamentals, because kids have a much higher degree of neuroplasticity than adults. That's why it's so advantageous to teach a child a new language at such an early age.
Yeah.
They learn this very, very quickly. And we put policies in place on all 4 of our children, on all of my nieces and nephews. We have insurance policies on all of their lives. And when they need money, most recently, one of my nephews borrowed $400 to buy a brand new computer monitor. He's paying it back over the next 6 months. And he knows everything he repays, he gets to reaccess again. And when the children get old enough to really conceptually know what exactly it is that we put into place for them, if they want to take over ownership of the policies that we've put in place on their lives, they can make an offer to buy them from us because that's right, with real value.
Oh, I like that part.
Yeah.
And then if they I was thinking I'll do it for my kids, but then I'm paying for them, but maybe they can buy it back. Sure.
If they want to do that, then the purchase price is everything that we put in.
Yeah, that's
and if they don't have the money, they can borrow it from the family bank.
Yeah.
That's keeping the money in the family. So when you talk about what you've heard growing up, like I shared with your viewers and listeners, the wealthy don't talk that way.
No, they really don't.
They don't. They circle the wagons and they say, let's keep the money in the family. But like a colleague of mine, Brent Kessler, shares often, he says, listen, I don't care if you're making $10 an hour or if you're making $10,000 an hour. You need this concept. You need this process in your life. And once you discover it, there's no reversing that. You can't unlearn it. Once you see the problem, the solution will become clear and you will know exactly what to do. But until you recognize that this banking function is a problem, if you're not controlling it, then the solution of becoming your own banker simply won't matter to you. So the best place to begin your journey of learning is read. Get on the YouTubes. We have a great YouTube channel titled.
Yeah, it's amazing content. Very concrete examples. Like today, we won't have time to go over all the examples, but I was looking through your playlist and you go over all kinds of scenarios with Sarbloh.
Yep.
And it's great. Like it's very good for people that are numbers people. I'm not really a numbers guy, so I like the big concept. I get it. The numbers, that's more my wife.
Well, there's
So,
two excellent YouTube channels. The first is titled Banker's Vault. Again, that's Banker's Vault. So if you go onto YouTube, you type in Banker's Vault, that'll take you right to that channel. The second is Wealth Without Bay Street, which is our podcast. And
yes,
all of those episodes, including real client interviews. So we call it the client series. We interview real clients, real examples, real life experience with the process in their lives. And that is at Wealth Without Bay Street. So if you hit the YouTubes on the internets and go to Wealth Without Bay Street, you'll find that channel as well. And the playlist, we add new content to both channels every week. Like we are continually creating that content. And when people become clients, they become part of our community. We have a client portal that is your password protected access to a portal of resources. We do group client quarterly coaching sessions. There's no additional cost to be a part of that community. And you can tap into those resources 24/7, 365. So if the inspiration strikes you, it's Saturday, it's 10 o'clock at night, you can hop right into your client portal. You can tune into the archived quarterly client coaching sessions. You can refresh your skills and experience with the process. It's all there at your fingertips, and we built it all for our clients.
That's amazing. Great resource. Because everything else, you kind of, like you said earlier, it's very transactional. Like I've bought life insurance before. I know it's not the right type now, but anyway, too late for that. But I've purchased it. You meet the rep, and then that's it. Never hear back in like 15 years. And it's coming to an end. I usually bought term insurance. So do you want to renew? And that's about it. But no consideration of future or anything like that. So this is great with the education and the portal. So thank you so much for sharing a little bit about your experience. I know you could go on for hours. I've heard you before. Yes, but I can't wait to be able to share some examples. And I love that you have client examples, client stories. Sometimes people relate better to, this person's an accountant, or Sarbloh, you're an engineer, you gave up your job. I mean, you're onto something, because in Ottawa as an engineer, you could get like 40 job offers. It's completely insane. So I'm sure like it's a great decision. And so what's the best way for people to, well, you mentioned the YouTube channel, so get educated, learn a bit, maybe accumulate some questions, and then reach out to you? Or what do you suggest is the best way for our listeners to?
Yeah, we do have a very comfortable, seamless process. You know, when a person's ready to meet with the right person on our team, then there's a scheduling link that we include in our content if you want to book a time to connect with the right person on our team. And don't bring any money to that meeting. Nobody's going to ask you for any.
No, they never do.
You want to make sure that you have clarity, that you can share your insights. You can ask all the questions that are coming up for you. You can do it in a very comfortable Zoom meeting setting. We can dive into more examples and help you get to clarity before you decide to do anything at all. We have a full team of authorized infinite banking practitioners, all of whom are authorized with the Nelson Nash Institute. So we are well equipped to take care of you. We've got an amazing client success team. All of the resources come to bear to support you. And so consume the content, read our Nelson Nash's book titled Becoming Your Own Banker. Take advantage of our token of gratitude. Download your copy of The End Asset for Canadians. When you're ready, you'll know. And all you've got to do is reach out and create a time. And we take it from there.
Yep.
Perfect. Well, that was excellent. Thank you so much. Sarbloh, did you have anything else to add?
Well, I would just say no different than how any real estate investor, when they become successful, success doesn't come from just buying property. Success comes by investing in yourself and educating yourself first, so that you have clarity on what you're buying and why you're buying. Same applies to this concept. You have to invest in yourself, educate yourself, like Jayson mentioned, the books, resources. You can hop onto our website, meet ascendantfinancial.ca. When you go to a website, you can click on meet the team. You can see our team. There's webinars. There's a shop. When you click on the shop, there's plethora of more books and education on this process. If you want to connect, have a quick call. Hey, Sarbloh, I've read Nelson's book. Which other book do you recommend?
Yeah,
You can message us. You can communicate. There's so many ways to communicate with us. And then, like Jayson mentioned, when you're ready. You'll know exactly what to do because you truly would understand the problem that's holding you back from really scaling your family wealth.
Yeah.
And that's the whole purpose. Like real estate investors, it's just a tool. I don't personally really care about real estate. I mean, it's a tool. So why not use a variety of tools and learn? And I love what you said, educate, invest in yourself first. That can never be taken away. Just like real estate, the knowledge that can't be taken away, but the actual real estate could. Let's hope not, but it could. You could sell it, you could do different things, but the knowledge is always there. And for generations to come, I love the generational wealth as well, like educating your kids and people in your circle of influence, family, friends. So what an amazing session, wine and real estate. It's a good thing I didn't drink any wine so I could focus. So thank you so much, guys. We'll have to have you on again in a little while and see what you're up to. I know there's some new projects with Sarbloh and different things as things evolve. So I can't wait to find out more. And thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us. It's great to be with you.
My pleasure. Cheers.
Cheers.